All right. Still getting stuff ready. Getting a bunch of programs updated apparently too. Uh-oh. What was that? Okay, that was not what I wanted. Reposition Windows. Sweet, it's putting... Okay, that's not good though. One moment. Shoot. So apparently, Rutony had an update, and in doing so, it completely changed the font size. Okay, bear with me a moment. For me to be able to see both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, can I do a... Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So you can hold control and use the mouse wheel, and it will scroll in size. Awesome. Reposition Windows. There we go. All right, so what I'm doing here is I have my chat program right here. I have a map program right there. I'm going to take the current map and send that to the EFB in the game. But I am going to be taking the camera and making the camera go down a little bit so you guys can actually see collective and cyclic motion. All right. Yeah, let's get this flight plan. File. Export flight plan. Save. All right. Like I'm hearing noise above me. What was that? And I had to look, and it's a frickin' bird. All right. Ooh, yeah, this is a new update, so I'm wondering if I need to do something with the controls. Okay, that's good. Why is my... Oh, that was weird. It wasn't working for a moment there. All right, rotor brake off. Oh, you know what I forgot to do today? Shoot. I need to double check and see if I've got... I think this works now. Oh, that's right. The Bush Talk app. Open Bush Talk. Open Bush Talk Radio. There it is. Okay. So what that should do is whenever I fly over any point of interest, it should hopefully start reading everything. All right, let's start off with lowering that down to 0. Load aircraft. I do need to change this to 200 pounds. Well, It's doing that thing again where it keeps deselecting the game. Okay. Cargo. To 0. Fuel. Let's top you off. I wish that... See, okay. I wish that this little box here, I wish that you could grab it and slide up and down on it to fill up. So you had a slider up there, which is incredibly difficult to grab with this controller. This would be so much easier. Or even this, you know, slide it back and forth or something. I don't know. Some of the UI things are really difficult. Like this. This little bar. See, like right there. The dot is near it, but it's not grabbing it. Has to be exactly on it because it's like 3 pixels tall. I wish that they made that. And the other thing too, what is the purpose of putting the helicopter sideways like this? Why doesn't the helicopter, instead of facing this way, where, you know, half of it is off the screen, turn it like that and default it where... Because there's no people sitting on the tail rotor, right? Have that thing face upward. And then put the seats or just in the same order that it is in the way you sit. We're not flying a jumbo jet. We don't need to sit 11 different people down, right? I don't know. Okay, still can't zoom in and out on that with the controller. It's doing that thing again. Why does the game keep coming unfocused? Okay, so you can zoom in and out with this. Now I've got to do another check. You see how this aircraft is flying that direction? It looks like it's drifting sideways, right? Now here's where the weird thing is. If you change map settings, where north is up, now the aircraft is fine. What's happening is that when the map is rotated around to, you know, north not being up, it's not rotating these aircraft. So it makes all the aircraft look like they're drifting or flying backwards. See? Like, I know it's not that windy to where they have to actually do that, but yeah. Like, it should be twisted to show what direction you're going. So, all right. Let's recenter that. Let's go in here. Import, load plan file, load from PC. Documents. All right. A little bit of lag while that loads because I have 5011 landmarks. Are you? No, so this... In the previous beta, this was fixed. Now it's broken again. So what's happening is that, as you can see, my mouse is on the screen. The game is in focus. And I do that, now the mouse is no longer on the game, and because the mouse is not hovering over the game is no longer in focus. Such a weird bug. Alright. Send to avionics. Back. And just recenter. Okay. Killer Clown and Alien, what's up? Good morning. Found out from a friend of yours on Xbox about... I have no idea who that is. So, No idea. All right. Let's see here. Power on. Now we just got to hope that the Garmin boots up. Hey, the Garmin booted up. Nice. All right. I don't know if I knew them under a different name. I don't recognize the name, sadly. All right, let's do a couple checks here. Yeah, it looks like day and night are reversed. Yeah, I think day and night are backwards. Okay, see, what the hell? Fuel? It never loaded it. Okay, it didn't take the loading button. It seems like you have to, like, click it 5 times before it actually works sometimes. Alright, lights work. Altimeter is set. Horn works. Clear left, clear right, clear. Fuel pump and pitot tube on. Make sure everything there works. Sim volume 50. Yeah, in real life, when it's igniting, it's pretty damn loud. The igniter is just constantly tick, 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 just constantly going. And the little 45-volt starter motor is loud because it's trying to spin up a jet engine to speeds that a jet engine needs to run. It is not that quiet. It is a little bit annoying with the random aircraft just popping in next to me, too. All right. Rolling up. Horn activated. It's a low rotor warning horn right now. Because my RPMs on the main rotor are low, it's going to be constant sounding. You turn it on purpose to make sure that it's functioning by turning off when we reach enough RPM, and there it is. So we got that. Wait for the RPM to stabilize, about 398. 382 is fine too. That's right in the middle of the green bar. Got to sit in a Cobra or Apache. Nice. Yeah, those are purpose-built machines. I got to work on Blackhawks and Little Birds. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong name for it. All right, let's see. Everything is good. Temperatures, pressures, all in the green. Technically, they're not in anything. As long as they're not in the yellow, we're good. All right, let's do this. Picking up. Pulling up very slowly on the collective. Getting light on the skids. Now, you see that? Okay, so here, let me actually do this. So right now, my cyclic is neutral, okay? And you'll notice that as I start to pull collective, we actually start tipping forward. Well, that's because right now we're really, we're kind of weird because we have a full tank of fuel. Our center of gravity is more rearward right now than if we were empty on fuel. So I have to pull back slightly to balance that out. And I'm just slowly adding cyclic. Right there, we're light enough to reduce the friction on the skids. And if I don't do pedal input, see how we're twisting? Right? So we're very light on the skids. And right about there, see, we started going up on one skid. And right there, we're off the ground. So it's finding that balance point before you take off kind of thing. All right. Nobody to our right, so we're going to move to the right. Tail is clear. Turn to the right. Taxi along this. Landing light is on. Yeah, it's a Black Hawk, but yeah, I'm not going to say that on stream. All right. Music volume 30. I don't know if this... Ooh, that's what I forgot to set up. Shit. Okay. Let's come down here. There are random aircraft in the bushes. Okay. All right. Set that down. Collective all the way down. Put the entire weight of the thing on the skids. Okay, so bear with me as I try to get some things set up here. What the hell was that? No. What? No. Disable. Discord overlay is doing weird shit on my stream computer. Hey, Cricket. What you up to, buddy? Okay, so... Oh, shit. I broke that. Oh, I completely broke that. Okay. Let me set this thing up again. All right, local radio volume maxed out. Good. Hopefully this works. Okay, so... Oh, shit, no. Off. Microsoft Edge was running. What is that? Radio volume 30. Wrong radio. Music volume 30. I don't remember the voice attack command I made. It's not music volume. It's just music 30. Okay, good. So it gets that. So music 5. So what I get to do now is I'm able to use Bush Talk Radio to actually pick up local radio stations of the area that I'm in through their internet feeds, essentially. So, yeah. Let me tune into Music 3 and see we got music volume now. All right, so let me do some adjustment here. Music 20. Music 40. Sorry, I'm trying to get my volume set up where it... Like that right there would be the loudest it would be. Music 5. All right. Cool, so we have that. And then I got to do the same thing on the game computer. The difference with the game computer is that it is not playing music. What it does do instead is when I get close to a point of interest, it'll play the dialogue stuff. So that, let me check it now. Volumes on it are good. All right, let's do this. After I get a drink. Music 30. Now, it is going to greatly confuse people entering the stream because I'm playing not English music. Music 5. I'm going to turn it down while they're talking about ads or whatever, so... All right. Sim volume 60. Sim volume 70. There we go. Music 20. All right. A little bit of an overcast day today. To the south, we have a little bit of rain, though. First leg is 12 miles. And we have a tailwind. And immediately upon taking off, we have our first bug. Right there. I wish, like, bug splats and stuff were dynamic instead of just being a texture that appears. But, eh. Alright, so this is the thing that I'm using for ATC. Put that down there. Let's open this up. And this is going to give us a much better GPS system. Trying to get it positioned, though, is a pain. All right. Got some real-life aircraft in the air. All right. Got an EasyJet and a Ryanair over that way. Yeah, so far so good. We'll see. I sit there and I... What is it called? I lay down in bed and I'm just like, I can't sleep. So, decided to continue my around-the-world flight. Do this for a few hours and get to the point where I'm just like, okay, now I'm exhausted. And then end up sleeping for half the day. Music 30. So I can see the first airport right there. In fact, if you look right there, you can kind of see a light pulsing. So let's get lined up with it. And Jim Jamborino, hope you're doing well too, dude. Ooh, what is going on with the terrain here? What is going on with the terrain? Okay, that's not good. I don't know what is going on with the ground textures. That was really weird. I don't know what's going on with the ground textures now. Super weird. Let me quickly do a check. Because I keep forgetting this is a new update. So I'm wondering if any of my settings reset. Is there a way? No, we're good on that. Did it reset any of my graphical settings? No, all this is still the same. I don't know. Why is that on medium, though? All right. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the terrain. All right, picking back up. And let's go. $40, $60. All right, next leg is 15.7 miles. It's only doing it for the airport. Yeah, it looks like these roads are fine. It was just the airport that was weird. Huh. Whoa, Cricket, you scared the shit out of me, cat. Alright, I'm just doing some function checks. That works. That works. That works. So this is showing thermals, right? This is showing computational fluid dynamics on the aircraft. Kind of hard to see in that view. Be a little bit easier during the day. But it's essentially showing what the wind is doing around the helicopter. Music 5. Again, turning the audio down for the... Yeah. Where are we geography-wise? I am in... Wait, where am I? I am, like, flirting on the border between France and Belgium right now. Yeah. In fact, here, hold on. If you want to see exactly where I am, let me do a thing here. So first off, let me pause. I'm going to give you guys a link. This link is to a website called Bush Talk Radio. It is essentially the web-based version of what I'm using for the music and the point of interest spots when we get to it. However, because I'm connected to it, you can see exactly where my aircraft is at. So you're looking in Europe for an aircraft with the identification SQUEE, S-Q-U-E-E, Sierra, Quebec, Uniform, Echo, Echo. So, yeah, right now we are in Belgium, but we're going towards France. My current route right now is going, like, all over, so we're going to be going through Belgium, France, Switzerland, and because my route is kind of going around Luxembourg, it will be circling back through when we go back towards the sea, but I don't know if we might get to Luxembourg today if I can stay awake long enough. We will figure it out at some point, I guess. All right, let's continue. Music 10. I can see some animals. Oh no, I'm sorry, those are birds again. I mean, they are technically animals, but they're not the built-in animals. The sun is coming up. Maybe some of this fog will go away. Now, not the last time that I flew, but the time before that, I was experimenting with a couple mods. And one of those mods is supposed to greatly clean up the roads in France and Germany. However, I had 4 of these mods, and I've narrowed it down. It's one of the 4. I moved 2 back in. If the game crashes, it's one of those 2. So if we don't have any crashes today, it's not one of those 2. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. Music 15. EasyJet, you can see how much faster EasyJet's moving than we are. Music 35. All right, so we are just about to cross back into France. Somewhere in this forest here is the border. Probably crossing over it right about now. To be honest, it's probably that path right there. That's probably the border of France and Belgium. It would make sense that they dig essentially what would you even call it? An access road. All right, airport is in sight on my map. Where are you? Oh, in fact, I think... Nope, that's not it. Trying to identify where the airport is. We're a couple miles out. In real life, it's a lot easier to find them because the beacon light is constantly flashing, and even during the day, it's very visible. Probably about 2 miles out-ish. 2.8. See, this little bit right here where it says that little bit is 0.55 always throws me off because it's like, can you not use like half a mile, 3/4 mile, 1 mile? Super weird like that. All right, let me do a quick check. Yeah, we still have a 6-knot tailwind, not that bad. We're just going to piss everybody off in this town. Music 10. All right. For those that are new to my stream, oh, there's that damn audio bug again. For those new to my stream, I am doing an around-the-world flight in this helicopter. I started my around-the-world flight when VR was released for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. At the time, they only had airplanes. So I had purchased a aircraft called a Long EZ. It's like a kit plane with it's an airplane with canards. It looks really cool. What is it? How do I explain this? I flew that. I started off at the most southern airport in South America. From there, I flew north in this Long EZ, and all the way through South America, up through Panama and Central America, and I got to St. Louis, Missouri. I remember specifically because we had the God, I got this itch on my back because of that archway that they have there. That was when Asobo released helicopters, and then from there, I purchased a helicopter a few weeks, months later or something from a creator called Cohen Sim, the H125, which is what I'm flying right now. I'm in the Asobo one. I'm not flying Cohen Sim's version because it is not fully functional in 2024 yet. I'm waiting for them to get some things working. From there, so from St. Louis, I kept flying north. We simulated having to carry an extra fuel tank, so we did all the measurement to, this is how much the tank weighs, and this is how much fuel it can hold, and this is how much fuel weighs, and we simulated putting that weight in the back and everything like that. Radio 0. And we flew to the most northern airport. Correction. We flew to the most northern land-based airport in Canada. which goes by the name Alert. It's essentially like a research station and or takeoff point for like rescue operations in and around like the North Pole and stuff. I then had to like turn around, fly back because the airports are very sparse in northern Canada, until I reached an area where I was able to cross over to Greenland. In Greenland, I then had to travel along the coast, again, hopping airports, until I got to the point where it was the closest to Iceland that I can get that was still an airport so I could fuel up and everything. From there, I had to wait for the weather to be just right because I kind of have a couple rules for this trip. One, I'm using real life time of day. Two, I always use live weather. I don't fake the weather. Not unless I'm like showing something off, but I try not to progress my trip if I'm doing something to show off. But like, for example, this is apparently the weather in France and Belgium in this area right now. But I had to wait for the jet stream to be just right and flew up to 14,000 feet, got a 100 knot tailwind. And we were able to get from Greenland to Iceland. We got to Iceland. We landed in Reykjavik. Next day, we traveled along the coast of Iceland. And then we had a slight issue because that was when all that stuff started happening with that volcano there. And it essentially shut down flight operations. So I didn't play the game for a while. From there, picked it back up, finished our coastline travel bit. And then, again, had to wait for the weather to be just right, and then flew from Iceland to the Faroe Islands. And then the next day, the weather was still okay, so we flew from the Faroe Islands to the northern Scottish Isles. Then everything went to shit. Everything I had done prior to that was all straight line. Let me go from this point to this point. That was it. When I got to Scotland, I changed my plan. My plan then became, I'm going to land at every single airfield in this country. So the reason why we're in France right now is because a couple streams ago, we actually finished the UK. In fact, here, let me actually show you guys something here. So this is a program that I've got. It's called Little Nav Map. This is what I'm using to plot my course. Now, sadly, it deleted my route on the northern part of the UK, but you can kind of get an idea if I do this of how my route was. When I say I visited every airport, I literally mean I visited every airport. So, yeah, that was busy. All these little question marks, those are all things from this Bush Trip radio thing, because a lot of these are player-made. And you can kind of see, if we go over here, so far, this is my route going through France and Belgium, and you can see that we're crossing over the border multiple times, and you can see my current planned route and how, like, this is Luxembourg right here. We're near Luxembourg right now, but we're not going to get to it until much later in this route, because we got to go back to the coast, because I'm essentially doing this back and forth to make sure I get all the airports, essentially. So it's a little bit chaotic. Reposition windows. Oh no, what did I do? Reposition windows. There it goes. Alright, center on my aircraft, and let's zoom in. Sorry, I'm having to fix things now because I changed a bunch of visuals to show you guys. For example, got rid of all the airport names, and I need those. Okay. And there we go. So we're currently heading to Marville Montmedy Airfield. I'm pretty sure I did not pronounce that correctly. All right. I forgot how much I hate radio. It's just constant ads, isn't it? All right. Now, it does look like we are heading into a little bit more, like, okay, so, like, over here, there's, like, from about, come on, let me point over here, please. From about here to right here, there's actually rain coming down here. So, like, that gray cloud is just rainfall. Here, it's just really, really foggy. I'm seeing another bit of rain right there. We might see some today. But I'm going to try to stay the hell away from that. The problem is I think we're going to be going to that. We'll see. I might have to fly really low. Music 30. Weird how we had that one airport that messed up the terrain textures, but the other ones have been fine. Really weird. Also, I don't know what's... I think I know what's going on right there. It's a rendering bug. Might have to do a bug report on that. Yeah, might have to do a bug report on that. Distance to Merope. I don't think it knows. Probably about 460 light years, if I remember correctly. And good early morning to you, Dynamic. Hope you're doing well. I do have to say, the tree mod that I have, oh my god, it greatly reduces the number of trees. And also reduces the size of the trees. They're not just all so fuck huge all the time. Alright. See, I love seeing, like, this landscape. That's so cool. See some cat, white and gray? That is Muppet. She is only down here for food. She does not care for me much at all. Can't pick her up. She gets upset. None of the cats here like being picked up right now. Alright. So I can see this airport runway is right there. In real life, you would be able to tune to the frequency of the runway or the airport and click the radio 5 times and it'll turn the lights on medium brightness. It's such a cool thing. You can do it any time of day. 7 times brights, 3 times low. And of course, I've got another mod that places solar panels down. So I've got a closed runway and a shitload of solar panels. We're starting to get a little bit of rain on our windscreen now. Oh, it does not like that. Music 10. Oh my god, the ads. Just constant ads. There's more ads than frickin' music. Might have to change the radio station. Or just go back to Spotify. Yeah, my light's functioning. I'm gonna do this. Oh, I've got that weird bug again where it's not... Give me control of the game. Oh my god. Hold on. Game's not being in focus. There we go. Super weird. Can I explain about different frequencies? Usually just every airport is assigned different frequencies, so if you have multiple airports next to each other, you don't get crosstalk on them and everything. But like this, okay, for example, this is a full function GPS. I paid $50 to make sure I have a full function GPS. Full function GPS, I can come in here and I can be like, okay, I want to see every single airport around me, right? So, for example, here we are currently at Marvel Montemedi Airfield, okay? The bearing, which to the center of the airport is technically 0.2 nautical miles away, but the airport runway is 9,610 feet. None of this is useful for a helicopter. Because guess what? We don't need a runway to land. That's why this heliport right here has 0 feet. These numbers are very important for airplanes. You got to know if you have enough space to be able to land, right? But here's the cool thing. Okay, let's actually find out what our next airfield's at. So our next airfield will be LFGW. Lima Foxtrot Golf Whiskey. Okay, so you go through this, scroll down. Lima Foxtrot Golf Whiskey. That's our next airfield. We've got 2 points of interest in between it, but it is 20.3 nautical miles away. The runway is 3,680 or 48 feet, right? So we're going to click that. We're going to do a direct to, and now we just plotted a course directly to that airfield. Now, if we go back in and we do a direct to, and oh, there's that airfield, right? You can click on it. Sorry. No. How do I do this? Trying to remember. Bear with me. Back to home. So also, okay, right here is a button on this one that says home, and right here is a button that says direct to. This one, they don't have that outer casing to it, so they made those buttons highlight when I hover over that. Let me do that one more time. Hey, Muppet, what you up to? You, hold on. Nope, down, 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 down. One moment. Cat. If you bumped my collective, that would have been bad. She wants food. No, she doesn't want me. She wants food. Muppet, your food is literally right there. It's full. She doesn't want me. She's like, feed me. Okay. But she's pawing around the, Muppet, it's right here. Cat. There you go. Brand new food. You didn't even see the bottom of the dish. It's already full. The only thing I can possibly think of is her sister ate out of it, and because of that, she's upset that she's like, no, I need new food that's mine and mine alone. Because she's prissy like that. Alright. Move those out. Alright. Let's get... Oh, shit. I forgot an annoying issue. Every time I pause, it resets that GPS. Damn it. Let me start over again. All right. Nearest airport. In real life, this thing loads so fast. Okay. LFGW. Now here's the thing, okay? This screen, notice what it says right here. Frequencies, right? So multicom, it's not a big airport. This is just the general frequency for that airport. So the cool thing is I can take that, and what I want you guys to do is I want you to, you see these? That's my radio frequency right there, okay? I could open this up. And there that is. And now I have 123.45 in the standby. And then I click this. And see how those two swap? Right? So essentially, you can get the next frequency of the next airport in standby. And when you cross that halfway point, you click on the next one. And then you can do whatever and then put the frequency for the next airport into standby. And then you're swapping frequencies, right? But we want this one. And as you can see, that just put that into standby. It even tells you the airport and what frequency it is, right? So as we get closer to that, we'll just switch over to that, right? If you have a larger airport, you have multiple frequencies, like the ones that are towered airports where you have ATC actually controlling something. You would start off really far away. You would tune in and listen to the automated radio. So the automated radio would be talking about stuff, and at the end of its big spiel, it would sit there and say something, you have information alpha, and it would give a code. And what happens is that weather information, it's something that every pilot needs to know when landing and everything like that. But you can't just have a person sitting there doing it. So that it's usually a computer voice, just it's on repeat. And whenever the weather changes, the information, whatever, also changes. When you get to the airport, before you even cross into their airspace, you contact the tower on the tower frequency, make yourself known, tell them where you are, what altitude you're at, and you have information, whatever it was, right? And then that way they know that you listen to that and they don't have to brief you on whatever. And they will then give you clearance to enter the airspace. They'll also usually route you in, get into the pattern, and assign you a runway, and then give clearance to land. So it's all like that. Once you get down and landed, then tower has you switch over to ground frequency. Ground then... around big airports, they're the ones that are in communication, just steering the planes around on the tarmac so they don't hit each other or, you know, stupid stuff like that too. A lot of times with a helicopter, they'll give the thing of land direct at this pad at own risk, and then, like, I don't even have to use the taxiways. I just go straight to where I need to land at. It's great. But you can get... Now, okay, so here's the thing too. Because this is a paid add-on to get the full... Like, okay, here, let's actually do this. So the built-in GPS that the sim comes with, you have 3 buttons. You have map, you have flight plan, and you have terrain. That's it, right? It just lets me know what the terrain is around. This, I have everything, right? So if I want to come in here and be like, I want to see what traffic is around me. I want to see more traffic. Now, sadly, I don't have a radar on this aircraft, so I can't see anything. I can only see what people are broadcasting. Let's see here. So nearest, let me find a larger airport. Now, you see even the symbols. A blue airport is an airport that has a control tower. So let's see if we can find a blue airport. Hey, there's one. So here, for example, frequencies. Okay, it must be a Charlie airport, not Bravo. Bravo is highly controlled. But I can open up procedures, look at the RNAV, show what route you come in if you're doing an instrument approach, right? Like, I can take this now. Dietrich, good morning. Approach, ATC, ground. There's other ones too. Like usually at the big airports, especially for like general aviation, there's like a separate frequency for the fuel truck. And you can like call in and be like, yeah, I need fuel at this pad, and they'll bring you fuel. I have a feeling the reason why my chart is not loading is because... Here, let me do something. KSGU. That is St. George Regional in Utah. Is this going to... Yeah, so that's what a chart looks like. You can see the altitude, the elevation at that end of the runway, how long the runway is, what all the taxiways. So this is taxiway Alpha, right? This is Alpha 5, Alpha 4, Alpha 2, Alpha 1, Bravo 1. So, port card. Well, it's just essentially a detailed chart of the thing. Here, let's actually do this. Back. Let's do... Split. K. Salt Lake City. So, Salt Lake City has multiple approaches because they have to be routed in and around the mountains, right? So there's multiple approaches for that. So here's the Salt Lake City chart. So if you're approaching from the south, it's runway 34 left and 34 right. If you're approaching from the north, it's 16 left, 16 right, right? And then you also have runway 35, runway 32, runway 14, and runway 17. So there's 4 different runways at Salt Lake City, right? And the reason why you have some weird angles here is sometimes the winds get really weird. And, for example, these runways are absolutely fine for a large commercial plane because it's really close to this. The runways over here are much better for, say, a C-17, because there's a military pad right here, and general aviation aircraft. Right? Because a Cessna can't withstand as much crosswinds, so they'll route them onto that one if the wind's too short, or if the wind's really weird, right? Yeah, and then here they have all the This is like a zoomed in on the taxiway, but it shows you all the little parking spots. So if they ever tell you that you need to go to spot 4L, you know exactly where your spot is, right? These are pads 30 through 24. Yeah, so see how they've got this little seat insert for pad detail. Like, this is for fighter jets. This airport does get used by the military because Hill Air Force Base is just north of it, too. And also, because I'm... Okay, so this is a couple of the paid add-ons that I'm using. One, I'm using the full function GPS mod. It's a $50 mod, but it's well worth it considering it gives me a full function GPS. But then I am using Navigraph, which is what is giving me the live charts. I can get every chart that they have available, essentially. But yeah, that's just one chart. No, back, wrong thing. This is just the parking gates for commercial aircraft. So if they have you go to gate B17, right? Different frequencies for the different ramp control. So if you're operating here, you have a radio tuned to that frequency. Larger jets like that tend to have multiple radios too, so you can be tuned to COM 1 and COM 2. In my case, I've got COM 1, but then I have navigation frequencies, which is completely different. Low visibility taxi routes. So this is just the routing, like if it's snowing in blizzard conditions, letting you know where to go. And this, you can take this stuff and put this into the GPS, and the GPS will tell you, okay, turn left here, turn right here, all that crazy shit. Yeah. So this is the routing in for this RNAV, the radio frequency thing. So Salt Lake City, to the west, it has the Great Salt Lake. To the east, it's a set of mountains that goes up to 14,000, 15,000 feet, right? Salt Lake City itself... Salt Lake City... Salt Lake City is around 6,000, 7,000 feet. So, for example, here you've got a mountain that's up at 13,000 feet. This RNAV approach, they're at flight level 300, so 30,000 feet at that point, right? And then you follow this approach. By the time you hit this, you're at 12,200. 12,200. Turn here. If they put you into a holding pattern, you're essentially fly this pill until they're ready for you. Because you might have another airplane that's coming in right here that maybe they're low on fuel. They get priority. You know, stuff like that. So sometimes you get put into holding patterns. Otherwise, you come in and get routed into... Here, at this point, you're at 11,000 feet, 11,000 feet, 11,000 feet, and then that brings you into, and then it brings you into the airport. There's so many procedures, and because everybody's running by the same playbook, you might have a completely another procedure where you have an aircraft that is flying the same path, but they're 2,000 feet below you. This is to keep, separation so the aircraft are not running into each other and everyone's going the same direction. Right? Everything is procedures. To me, it's cool as shit. And what did I say that was? LFGW. And direct to activate. Cool. All right, let's go We're sitting here at full throttle. I've used 15% of my fuel. Military is prior? What do you mean military is prior? We have a little bit of rain now. I'm going to take this. I probably should have done this when the aircraft was on the ground. Let's put you there. All right. To land? Hill Air Force Base is maybe 30 miles north-ish. So, like, I mean, that's its own airfield. And there's literally between Hill Air Force Base, there's a highway, and then there's another civilian airport right on the other side of the highway. Yeah, there's multiple airfields. See, like, this location probably used to be a military airfield just because of those kind of pads or something that they do with, they set up aircraft ready to go. And that way they can just roll out and get to the runway really quick. Looks like that one looks like a decommissioned military base. All right, so see where we are right now, it's relatively clear. But you can see over here we've got rain coming down. Over here we've got rain coming down. And we're kind of flying that way. So, yeah, when we get to the foggy area, the fog you're seeing is literally the rain coming down and obscuring your view. But we'll get some more rainfall here. Should probably accelerate a little bit more. I'm only doing 100. This thing can very easily do 140. Music 30. Now, when we get to the next location, we're going to get our first point of interest of the day. So I will be turning the music down. Dietrich, I wish it cleaned the aircraft. In real life, if you're flying fast enough, yeah, the rain would essentially water blast the bug guts off if it hit it right, but in the sim, no, it doesn't do that. I do have a wish list item asking for the ability to wash the windscreen when you're at airports, but I see some animals. Music 40. There's so many more animals. Horses, sheep, and cattle. Holy crap. Yeah, they must have fixed whatever was causing the frame rate stutters with the animals in the live version, because there's no stutter with the animals now. It's great. And yeah, here comes the rain. The only problem now with playing music from the online radio instead of using Spotify is I can't save the music if the song is a banger, right? If it's a song that I'm like, oh, this thing has a fun beat, I can't save it. All right, we got some. Oh my god! They fixed the wind. Oh my god! The rain's going the correct direction now. It used to be these two screens. Or is it? I can't tell now. It looks like it's going down, right? Oh yeah, yeah, they fixed that. Nice! They fixed the way the water moves on the windows. I know it's a stupid little thing, but that's my bug report. They got that fixed. Alright, back out of the rain cloud for a little bit and right back into it. And what about sheep? Alright, so... Music 0. So we're going to turn that down. We're about to get our first point of interest. This is the... Dualemont Ossuary. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh no, I said sheep because there were a huge gaggle of sheep, cattle, and horses that we flew over. I don't think Dietrich said anything about sheep. That was all me. Isn't... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, there is actually a building here. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is actually a flight sim model. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Have you guys been...
Field. Through small outside windows,
Hold on.
The skeletal remains of at least 130,000 unidentified combatants of...
Shit, I apologize, guys. Let me replay that.
Both nations can be...
Shit, how do I reset it? We start over.
The Dualemont Ossuary is a memorial.
Have you guys been...
skeletal remains of soldiers.
Have you guys
who died
literally
on the
been...
battlefield during the Battle of Verdun in World War I?
Oh my God.
It is located in Douaumont, France, within the Verdun battlefield. It was built on the initiative of Bishop of Verdun. It has been designated a Necropole National. During the 300 days of the Battle of Verdun, from February 21, 1916 to December 19, 1916, approximately 230,000 men died out of a total of 700,000 casualties. The battle became known in German as Die Holle von Verdun, and was conducted on a battlefield covering less than 20 square kilometers. The ossuary is a memorial containing the remains of both French and German soldiers who died on the Verdun battlefield. Through small outside windows, the skeletal remains of at least 130,000 unidentified combatants of both nations can be seen filling up alcoves at the lower edge of the building. On the inside of the ossuary building, the ceiling and walls are partly
Radio
covered
volume
by
0.
plaques bearing names of French soldiers who died during the Battle of Verdun. A few of the names are from fighting that took place in the area during World War II, as well as for veterans of the Indochina and Algerian wars. The families of the soldiers that are recognized here by name contributed for those individual plaques. In front of the monument, and sloping downhill, lies the largest single French military cemetery of the First World War with 16,142 graves. It was inaugurated in 1923 by Verdun veteran André Maginot, who would later approve work on the Maginot Line.
Oh my god. And this is why I'm really enjoying this bush trip thing, because it gives you a whole bunch of information about these places. Sim Volume 50. Clear those. The crazy thing to me is this. Look at that. That is 16,000. Ooh, there's another thing over here. Ooh, there's actually a couple things around. Hold on a minute. Let me go over and take a look. It's not a church. It's a, apparently you can look through the windows and actually see it was built where you could see the skeletons of the people. Which, that's just a little bit morbid, but I mean, that was like, what, 1914? Not exactly sure what this is. They didn't really comment on it. But yeah, it is a memorial. So there's people buried here from World War I and World War II. That one, though, is mainly World War I. Okay. Okay, let me dodge these trees. Now, sadly, I probably won't be able to read this. Yeah, the resolution isn't high enough for me to be able to read that, though. I'm pretty sure if you go online, you can probably find higher res images and translated images somewhere. That's crazy, though. Alright, let's continue on. Next location is the Magnat Barracks. I don't think this one has a point of interest, as in, like, a building, because I think this might just be part of the bush plane thing, or the bush trip thing. Volume 30. Music 30. Music 10. Music 30. Music 0. Alright, so bear with me as this plays.
Maginot Barracks is located in the Auville-sur-Meuse, west of Verdun, France, and has served as a military base for the French and American armies at different times over the past 100 years. It became headquarters for ADSEC, the advanced section of comms of the US Army, shortly after World War II until 1967, when it reverted to French control after Charles de Gaulle's withdrawal from the military integration of NATO. The barracks was named for André Maginot, the Minister of War responsible for the Maginot Line, who had served as an enlisted man at Verdun in World War I.
All right, let's see if it actually has a building. The problem is, it's kind of hard to tell with the rain right now. I mean, I think technically everything we're flying over right now is the, yeah, that's that square. Of course, it'd be the area with the parade ground. And a sundial. And a tank, I think. Maybe a tank. Probably an old tank there. Alright, continuing on. Radio 30. Radio 30. Music 30. I gotta use the correct command. Radio 50. Radio is for the actual radio for ATC communication. Volume is for Spotify. Music is for the radio thing that I've got going, and sim is for the sim volume. So I've got 4 different volume commands right now. And I'm getting them all mixed up. Oh no, it isn't. Is it speed related? Hold on. They didn't fix it. Okay, high speed it works, low speed it does not. So it is still broken. Dang it. I was hoping they actually fixed that. No music on your side. Oh my god. Oh, shit. I am an idiot. I apologize, guys. I keep forgetting that I did all these changes. Radio 0. Radio 0. Radio 1. Radio 5. I'm an idiot. Music 1. So wait. You guys weren't hearing any music. You weren't hearing any sim things. So did I literally stream the first hour with no sound other than my voice? I cannot believe I did that. What the hell? Please let me know if I ever do that. That sucks. That sucks. Music 30. Yeah, good. Music is on now. Nice. I literally just told you that I use radio for this and music for that, and then I went and tried to change the volume using the wrong command again. Does that not work? No, apparently my wiper does not work. Music 5. Music 30. Yeah, see, I think it's just the in-between music talking. Music 5. All right. Set it down real quick. On to the next location. Time.
2:01.
I don't understand why I have random points where my sim volume 60. It's like the engine sounds just go away and then come back. It's really weird. Music 10. So you can actually see my route. We're going up to that one and then we're going south again. Alright. We are going into the wind a little bit now. The wind is coming at us like this. Getting that weird pixelation on the ground again. Right now I am in France and we might be crossing back into Belgium shortly. Actually, I take that back. We're going to be in France for a little bit. But we're right there on the French-Belgian border. In fact, let me see if I can go back down here. Control up. Does that not work here? Nope, doesn't seem to work. If you go here, and search for aircraft designation SQUEE, S-Q-U-E-E, that's me. So you can see exactly where I am. You can also see the point of interest around me, and all that kind of stuff, which is nice. Alright, we are getting a little bit of flying through a really low-lying cloud right now with a windshield wiper that apparently does not work. I'm trying to stay just in range of the ground to see the ground, but How do I pronounce this place? Oh, there's an airport right here that I can't see. But we need to land at. It is a closed airport. Great. It's raining hard enough we're starting to get puddles on the runway. We're actually... My helicopter is blowing the puddles away from us, which is kind of neat. Kind of a weird effect there. Dietrich, exactly, right? We're closing? What do you mean? Alright, picking back up again. We are at about 80%, well, a little bit less than 80% fuel. I mean, it looks like a pretty decent sized airport, though. I don't know if it's active. Like, the stuff nearby, it looks a little bit in disrepair. So, no idea with that. See if we can get out of this rain again. Now we're flying with a tailwind. Music 30. Again, this is me just wondering out loud. How many people that have never been to my stream before entered my stream, heard this music, and left because they thought it was a French stream? The problem is, if I put in the title, music is of the country we're flying through, the problem is people don't read that. So... that wouldn't do any good. Oh, shoot. Time?
2:09.
And again, for those coming in right now, I am extremely tired. I woke up at around 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. So, I laid down, couldn't get to sleep, decided to do a flight sim stream. Ooh, we got a bunch of rain in front of us. Yeah, if I... Again, that's kind of the reason why I am attempting to continue to talk. So they realize that, you know, maybe the music is themed for something. But, yeah. So, music 10. So, a little bit of an update. I have gotten the okay from several members of my free company Static to be able to stream our our Savage progression. We actually progressed quite a bit tonight, so we might... The next time I do that will be on Monday. We might have a clear we might have a clear next week, essentially. But we're getting, that fight is very front-heavy, meaning a lot of the difficult mechanics are at the beginning of the fight. And we've been getting through the beginning mechanics a lot better. And, the trail end of the fight is just a repeat of the beginning mechanics, just in different combinations. So, hopefully we're able to get it clear soon. But see, that was the reason why you guys weren't hearing music earlier, is because the music channel and my Discord voice channel are the same channel. Oh, bird. That would have been an impact right there. So, the way I prohibit it from playing is I mute that channel, and I forgot to turn it back on. I really need to make myself a checklist. Ooh, speaking of checklists, I told you guys that I did become a Say Intentions partner. Okay. That is a hill. Let's steer away from the hill. And sorry, I really need to pay attention to my instruments now because I can't see jack shit outside. Why am I not able to tune to this frequency? Airport is to our left here. There it is. A lot of military bases here. This one, I do not see X's on the runway, so this is probably the bigger airport in this location. Now, in real life, I wouldn't want to fly in this weather. Clouds too low. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't want to. It's not worth it. So what I did there was I came in and I faced into the wind. So I'm getting a little bit more... I don't have to use as much power to stay airborne, essentially. Oh, man. Okay. Now... there might be some people that, some might be okay with me sharing their voice on Discord, others not so much. If I attempt to try to do a dual thing where I have the people that are not, that don't want their voice transmitted, I would have to make... I need to make a second Discord account. and essentially both accounts would be logged into the same room, just one muted for microphone, and the other one can talk. But then the one mutes those people, and then the other one mutes the other people. Like, it would be super complicated, but I could do it. Alright, picking up. This is kind of the bad thing of when we do have weather like this. We don't really get to see a lot of the terrain as much, sadly. But that being said, it is about 9:15 in the morning. We're gonna try something dumb here. So, I'm gonna get my 60 knots of airspeed. 60 knots is where this helicopter has best rate of climb. I'm gonna pull as much power as I can while maintaining that 60 knots. So, I'm using the cyclic forward and backwards to control the airspeed. So I'm going up too high. Now I'm going too low. But you can essentially control the airspeed with that. Oop, we're pulling into the red a little bit. Don't want that. Small course corrections. I'm essentially using this to make sure I'm level. This for my airspeed. This to kind of make sure I'm following my ground track. I mean, very clearly I'm climbing. You can see that. I am slowing down a little bit. Let's go forward a little bit, please. $60 knots. We're already up at 5,000 feet. Music 30. And sorry, I know I'm really focused on the instruments right now. When you can't see anything outside, there's no point in looking outside. Like right now, that's it. Nano Monk, thank you very much for the resub, dude. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. We're already up at 8,500 feet. If you look outside, outside air temperature is currently minus 3.8 Celsius. That is snow outside. It is technically snow at this altitude. It will melt as we go down. It is now minus 4.1 Celsius outside. Negative 4.1 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Minus 4.1 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Minus 4 Celsius to Fahrenheit.
25 degrees.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. Now the problem is, I'm trying to climb above the clouds, because above the clouds are going to be nice and bright and shiny, but these clouds are thick as shit. We're already up at 11,000 feet, and we're still not through the clouds. Pitot heat is on, so our pitot tube doesn't freeze up. It is now -7 Celsius outside. Every 1,000 feet you go up, the outside air temperature on average drops 2.5 Celsius. Now the next problem is crossing 13,000 feet. We're already halfway to our next point of interest. 13,000 feet. Precipitation stopped. So we're above where this precipitation is forming. $13,500. I want to make sure that the game is in focus. $14,500. Now, this is where 30 minutes. Okay. Now, we're about to cross 15,000 feet. And I just broke the law. Technically, over 15,000 feet, you are required to have oxygen. We're not even above the damn clouds here. Holy shit. We're going back down. So, above 14,500, music 10. Now we just got to descend without smashing into the ground. Music 0. We're flying over a point of interest and I have no idea where it is. Ooh, shit, little bit of a clearing.
The Battle of Gravelotte occurred on the 18th of August 1870 and was the largest battle of the Franco-Prussian War. Named after Gravelotte, a village in Lorraine, it was fought about 6 miles west of Metz, where on the previous day, having intercepted the French army's retreat to the west at the Battle of Mars-la-Tour, the Prussians were now closing in to complete the destruction of the French forces. The combined German forces under King Wilhelm I were the Prussian 1st and 2nd Armies of the North German Confederation, totaling 188,332 officers and men. The French Army of the Rhine, commanded by Marshal François-Achille Bazaine, dug in along high ground with their southern left flank at the town of Rosa-Rieules and their northern right flank at St. Privat. On the 18th of August, the Prussian First Army under General Karl Friedrich von Steinmetz launched its 7 and 8 Corps in repeated assaults against the French positions, backed by artillery and cavalry support. All attacks failed with enormous casualties in the face of French infantry and mitrailleuse firepower. The French did not counterattack Steinmetz's weakened army. On the Prussian left, the Prussian Guards attacked the French position
down to
at St.
7,000.
Privat. With the support of the Prussian II and Saxon 12 Corps of Prince Friedrich Karl's Second Army, the Guards conquered St. Privat and suffered heavy losses, pushing back the French right wing. Bazaine's Army of the Rhine withdrew into Metz Fortress on the morning of the 19th of August. The German victory at Gravelotte ended Bazaine's army's last chance of retreating west to Verdun. After a siege lasting over 2 months, the French Army of the Rhine surrendered on the 27th of October 1870.
Alright, I'm going to start slowing down my descent, because we're about to break through the bottom of the clouds. Currently at 4,300 feet, still descending. I'm just doing like a big circle over that point so we don't miss it. And sorry I'm being super focused right now because the ground's gonna be popping suddenly. Oh, I just had a slight clearing in the cloud right there. There we go. Okay. There is a very thick cloud in front of us and a hill. I want to be able to see things. Yeah, the weather is nasty today. Alright, let's get back on our route. Volume no. Music 10. Music 30. I'm making sure that's actually playing music. Alright, let's see here. One of the things that that I was taught is if it ever gets to the point where you have to do what I'm doing now, where I'm getting down low, do it. It's better to survive. And the nice thing with the helicopter is technically we can slow way down and land anywhere and wait the storm out. Alright, there's another point of interest in front of us. Music 0. So I'm turning it down because it usually activates a mile and a half out-ish. I think around 2 kilometers, I think. So we'll probably have the thing play here.
The Battle of Fort
There we go.
was a constituent battle in the 1944 Battle of Metz during the Lorraine Campaign and the Greater Siegfried Line Campaign. The battle was on occupied French territory between the forces of the United States Third Army under the command of General George S. Patton and the forces of Nazi Germany under General Otto von Nobelsdorf. Location and fortifications. Fort Drian was located 5 miles southwest of Metz, just west of the Moselle River.
I think it reads a
Built in
couple
1902
paragraphs
by the
from
Germans and
the
renamed
Wikipedia
in
article.
1919 after Colonel Émile Drian. The fort was continually reinforced by both the French and German armies. Fort Drian was made from steel-reinforced concrete. It was also surrounded by a deep dry moat and barbed wire. At the time of the battle it housed 5 main gun batteries of 150mm guns, infantry trenches, and armored machine gun and observation posts. From its commanding position, it could direct heavy fire in the Moselle Valley. The fort could also rain flanking fire that produced heavy casualties amongst the men of General Walton Walker's 20 Corps. Background: Third Army's intelligence section had already determined that the Germans intended to make the most of the ring of forts around Metz, the ancient gateway city through which so many invading armies had passed. Metz was to be the linchpin in the Germans' defensive strategy. An army had not directly taken the city since 1552. It had been captured after a 54-day siege during the Franco-Prussian War and had been fortified by the Germans in World War I. However, the string of fortresses were left in ruins. When the US Third Army arrived at Metz, they were quickly drawn into a stalemate with the German defenders for weeks over control of the city and its perimeter. On September 27th, the failure of a regimental effort by 90th Infantry Division against Fort Jeanne d'Arc indicated to Third Army the inherent strength of the various fortified positions blocking entry into Metz.
Alright, so I just put terrain radar on this. Red is within 500 feet of me. Yellow is within 1,000, I think. And then... Actually, no, the numbers are right here. Yeah. So, red is 500. Yellow is 1,000. Green is 1,500 or more. So... only really need to watch that, Only really need to watch the one. Alright, let me quickly do something. Reset my avionics. That's not really helping. This is gonna be one of those stressful flights, because that right there was a I had a trick of the light made me think that the ground was a lot closer than it really was. That's why I jerked back on the cyclic so quickly. See, everything's red here. Staying above 500 feet would be nice. The problem is, I can't see shit. Lorient Airport, helicopter, Sierra, Quebec, Uniform, Echo, Echo, inbound for touch and go. Radio 50. Radio 50. Lorient Airport, helicopter, Uniform, Echo, Echo, inbound for touch and go. I'm not hearing any of the radio squelch. Error, no audio from mic. Uh-oh. Time?
2:33.
Why is that not working suddenly? You guys are hearing me, right? The microphone's getting to the stream, I hope. I might have to reset stay intentions if that's the case. But you see why they use the lights too? Super visible. They are, like, that's one of those things. A lot of people, in the mornings or in the evenings before it actually gets dark, they don't drive with their headlights on, because even if you've got the sun behind you, turn your lights on so people can see the light. It stands out. I'm gonna deviate over here and land on the taxiway. It is an active airport, so there might be aircraft landing. Alright. I've got to figure out why stay intentions is not reading my audio. No, it gave... Wait a minute. It gave me a response. Testing. Yeah, so OBS sees my audio. Radio volume 30. Radio volume 50. I was saying radio. Let me make the word volume optional. Square bracket. This is the problem with making all these different volume commands. Radio 20. Radio volume 20. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, shit. Okay, I can't use the square commands apparently. Oh, shoot.
9001 Bravo, enter left downwind, report midfield.
Left downwind will report midfield, Beechcraft 9001 Bravo.
Radio volume 40. Lorient Airport, helicopter, uniform Echo Echo, departing to the northeast.
Helicopter uniform Echo Echo, wind 325 at 12. Take off from your location, will be at your own risk.
At own risk, helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Thank you. Alright, picking up. So, because I'm a helicopter, I can take off from the taxiway. As you heard right there, the ATC gave me a at own risk designation, so I'm able to do this. Am I... Nope. Don't see any AI aircraft here. Fuel-wise, we are about 69% fuel. Nice. Radio 30. Radio volume 40. Music 30. One day I'll remember. Alright. Next airport is 26 miles away. If we're lucky, we will get a little bit out of this weather. Getting a little bit of radar. Apparently my helicopter is equipped with a radar. This helicopter's got all the bells and whistles. Oh, it's actually simulating the radar beam. That's cool. Scan horizontal. Scan vertical. So, sadly, I don't have a vertical radar. It only bounces side to side. That's cool as hell, though. Yeah, the helicopters I flew, we had no need for a weather radar because we didn't fly in weather. So didn't have that option. Now, according to this, if I head a little bit to my right, We can possibly break out into the clear area first and then continue traveling north.
Bonanza 64,
Let's see if we can do
Foxtrot
that.
Alpha 2, turn left, heading 180, contact departure.
Radio volume 30.
Left to 180, contacting departure. Bonanza
Radio volume
64,
25.
Foxtrot Alpha 2.
So hopefully it clears up here in a moment. But then again, it's like 12 miles in front of us. Still is something that's really weird to me. During the tech alpha, way back when, there were little markers over every single town. And it was cool to me because then you could see these names of all the towns. And now we don't have those. There's still an option to turn it on and off, but we just don't have it. We are going to be flying in this for a little bit. Might as well just fly on my damn route if that's the case. It's 10 miles in front of us. Music 10. We're just right back into the advertisements. Yeah. Usually, the only kind of aircraft, the only time helicopters are flying in weather like this, usually medevac. Medevac or an evac for oil rig workers, maybe. They try to keep them out there as long as possible so they can keep working, kind of thing. But try to get them back to land before hurricanes hit, but yeah, stuff like that. Now I'm really curious. I don't know if oil rigs, if they keep the people on them sometimes. They might keep a skeleton crew or something. I know a lot of those oil rigs, they've got all the fancy shit where they can, the life pods are like, they could be fully submersed in water kind of thing. If it gets really bad. But, I don't know. Trying to make sure I actually make it in the trash can. Oh my god! As we're continuing to fly, the weather is just getting worse and worse in front of us. We were 10 miles away from the edge of the storm. Now we're 11, 12.
Extending downwind, Diamond Tree 71 Bravo Charlie.
I can still see the ground a little bit. But then we get these, like, see this cloud right here? That's just covering all this area. I'm purposely going lower, but that's so I can see the ground a little bit better. I'm just watching what's in front of me. Like, for example, power lines. Want to make sure we go over those. I don't know if I can hit the power lines now. I actually haven't tried it. Music 30. Music 40. I have not heard this song in a while. Oh my god, the weather. See how that can be dangerous as hell? Somebody has a little dirt bike track down there. I see a power pole, so I'm gonna aim right at it and go right over the top of it. Look at that, I can see the power pole, I can't see the ground. Freaking bad weather. I don't know whose designation is HOZ, but... Oh god, look at the rain to our right. Well, to the right and in front of us, it's really bad. Turning red.
Beechcraft 9001 Bravo, enter left downwind, report midfield.
Left downwind will report midfield Beechcraft 9001 Bravo.
Switching to terrain on that one so I can see weather and terrain at the same time. Oh, it's just getting worse in front of us. Music 10. Is chat still working, or is just everyone quiet right now? The last thing that spoke that I can see was my chat bot during the break. Not sure if anyone said anything since. Once I get down and landed, I'll make sure that it probably stops scrolling on me or something. I'm missing a lot of chat today. Alright, we're going to start slowing down. Airport is literally right here.
Copter uniform, Echo, Echo. Squawk 4451 and ident.
Alright. Oh my god, the weather's just so bad. Okay, I need to figure out why does my wiper not activate? Oh no, it does. It just the GPS unit was in the way. Okay. Let's set up a new control. We're gonna do Warthog throttle. Oh, gotta let this load now. Haven't really had a need to have the wiper working until now. Oh, come on, game. Ugh. This is one of those little frustrating things. The... Okay, so the wiper button doesn't work. Oh my god, I can't click on anything. So it's not that button. Try that. There we go. So we now have a button that we can toggle on and off for the wiper. Actually, hold on a minute. Just had a random thought. Oh my god, my mouse. If I do Alt-Enter, do that. Do it again. Let's try going out of VR mode. And then back in. And now the mouse is constrained. What? Such weird crap you gotta do. Okay, oh. It broke my GPS again. Heck, it broke all my stuff. Okay, so say intentions. Put you down there. GPS. Where are you going to show up at? There you are. I'm going to put you right there just to make it so you're not interfering with my damn wiper. That works. Alright. Picking back up. No, I don't think anyone's saying anything. Again, guys, I apologize that the weather is making the sightseeing portion of the trip a little bit meh.
Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2 cleared for takeoff runway 29. Cleared for takeoff runway 29 Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2.
We have some interesting ground features around us, like this hill to our right. Of course, none of it I can see. Terrain is saying, yeah, you're safe for now. There's nothing that bad in front of you. Weather's saying, good luck. Yeah, weather, yeah, no. Alright, it's getting a little bit thinner, but still bad. According to this, I do have a hill in front of me. There is a river to my right that is much lower, but so little trick that I'm doing is I'm looking at my terrain map and I go down low and then I pick back up and I'm watching the colors change, and in my head I'm kind of building a 3D terrain map of what's around me. So I now know that I'm passing a hill, there's another hill right over here, and then there's a much larger hill over there that I don't want to go towards. So I try to stay near where it is safe to fly, essentially. I do need to stay on my route, though.
The Volklingen Ironworks is located in the German town of Volklingen, Saarland. In 1994, it was declared by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. It is an anchor point of the European route of industrial heritage.
Radio volume 0.
In 1873, Julius Buch began planning of a steel works near Volklingen on the banks of the Saar River. However, this planned work was not completed. In 1881, Karl Röchling began new construction. 2 years later, the first smelter began operation. The plant closed in 1986. Today, the Volklinger Hütte is a museum. The Ferrodrome is an interactive science center focusing on the making of iron. Visitors can tour the production areas. In addition, temporary exhibits on
Music
a variety
volume
of
0.
topics are hosted in the large power halls. In the summer, occasional concerts are held.
All right. So yeah, we're getting a few of these point of interest as we fly around. There is a river to my right. Kind of running parallel to it right now. You can kind of see it right there. Ooh, hello tower. Just comes out of the mist. Oh, shoot. I don't know if these are Microsoft point of interest or what, but the Microsoft
Saarbrücken,
ones.
French, Saarbrück, Rhine-Franconian, Saarbrügge, Latin, Ripjaws is the capital and largest city of the state of Saarland, Germany. Saarbrücken is Saarland's
Oh, we're in
administrative,
Germany now.
commercial and
Oh, dang,
cultural
we did
center
just
and
cross.
is next to the French border. Saarbrücken was created in 1909 by the merger of three towns, Saarbrücken, St. Johann, and Malstadt-Burbach. Saarbrücken was heavily bombed in World War II. In total 1,234 people in Saarbrücken were killed in bombing raids 1942-45. 11,000 homes were destroyed and 75% of the city left in ruins. The British Royal Air Force raided Saarbrücken at least 10 times. Often employing area bombing, the RAF used total of at least 1,495 planes to attack Saarbrücken, killing a minimum of 635 people and heavily damaging more than 8,400 buildings, of which more than 7,700 were completely destroyed, thus dehousing more than 50,000 people. The first major raid on Saarbrücken was undertaken by 291 aircraft of the RAF on the 29th of July 1942, targeting industrial facilities. Losing 9 aircraft, the bombers destroyed almost 400 buildings, damaging more than 300 others, and killed more than 150 people. On the 28th of August 1942, 113 RAF planes raided Saarbrücken, doing comparatively little damage due to widely scattered bombing. After the RAF mistakenly bombed Saarlouis instead of Saarbrücken on the 1st of September 1942, it raided Saarbrücken with 118 planes on the 19th of September 1942, causing comparatively little damage as the bombing scattered to the west of Saarbrücken due to ground haze. There were small raids with 28 Mosquitoes on the 30th of April 1944, with 33 Mosquitoes on the 29th of June 1944, and with just 2 Mosquitoes on the 26th of July 1944. At the request of the American Third Army, the RAF massively raided Saarbrücken on the 5th of October 1944 to destroy supply lines, especially the railway. The 531 Lancasters and 20 Mosquitoes achieved these goals, but lost 3 Lancasters and destroyed large parts of Malstadt and nearly all of Alt-Saarbrücken. From 13 to 14 January, the RAF raided Saarbrücken 3 times, targeting the railway yard. The attacks with 158, 274, and 134 planes, respectively, were very effective.
All right. Move on to the next point of interest. The animals are down below us, freaking out because this helicopter flying in the air. And yeah, it is a tiny windshield wiper, but I mean, it's still 19, 20 inches. It's still decently big. Music 0. I think there's supposed to be a point of interest playing right now, but we probably moved into it. Okay, actually here, let me pause. Let me figure out why the current point of interest is not playing.
The Battle of Spicheren, also known as the Battle of Forbach, was a battle during the Franco-Prussian War. The German victory compelled the French to withdraw to the defences of Metz. The Battle of Spicheren, on the 6th of August, was the second of 3 critical French defeats. Moltke had originally planned to keep Bazena's army on the Saar River till he could attack it with the Second Army in front and the First Army on its left flank, while the Third Army closed towards the rear. The aging General von Steinmetz made an overzealous, unplanned move, leading the First Army south from his position on the Moselle. He moved straight toward the town of Spicheren, cutting off Prince Frederick Charles from his forward cavalry units in the process. There are numerous memorials on the plateau of Rotherberg Hill and at the various military cemeteries in Spicheren, many of them German, and at the Forest Cemetery and the German-French Garden in Saarbrücken, commemorating the fallen soldiers or officers of the individual formations, as well as a big memorial for the fallen French.
The weather is just getting worse. Oh my god. Ooh, shit. Okay, turn that off because it's not doing anything anyway. Ugh, why does the game not be in focus? Alright. We're plenty high enough. Keep flying. We can kind of skip this corner now because we've already seen that other place. Alright, push for speed. Let's get through this shit as quick as possible. Would I fly in real life like this? No. No way in hell. However, this is the reason why I went and got my instrument ratings, so I can. If something happens and you are then suddenly introduced to a freak storm or something like that, I can successfully navigate. We are in this weird, like, the rain just stopped there for a moment. Okay, we're turning right. See, it's getting a little bit brighter outside. Clouds are a little bit thinner here. Yeah, we're flying over point of interest right now. 3,500 feet. In fact, let me just quickly do a check there. Yep, altimeter pressure was off. So 3,300. Wind is about 23 knots. The birds wouldn't even be flying outside in this weather. We had one of these freak storms kind of catch us by surprise when I was doing flight training once. That was my first time flying under power lines. We literally dipped into a canyon because the top of the mountain was completely covered in the cloud and we weren't allowed to fly through the cloud. But the canyon was clear, so we dropped down in the canyon and flew low.
The Saarpolygon in Instorf, Saarland, is a monument commemorating the coal mining industry in Saarland, which ended in June 2012. The polygon stands on the spoil tip of the Bergwerk Saar coal mine, the last mine in the region to be closed. This pile, with an area of about 50 hectares, rises about 150 meters above the surrounding Saar Valley. Due to its prominent position, the polygon is visible from all directions. France and Luxembourg are visible from the structure. Over many centuries, the coal mining industry had been the largest employer in the region. Finally, in June 2012 the last coal mine was closed, marking the end of an era. Following the closing of all coal mines, an organization called Bergbau Urbi Saar Association was founded, whose stated purpose was to promote the cultural heritage of mining with the establishment of a landmark that celebrates the contribution that the miners had in the region. Construction on the monument began in late 2015. The sculpture was completed in the spring of 2016 and was inaugurated in September 2016 and opened to the public. The walk-in monument is about 30 meters high and is designed to have a different shape depending on the direction it is viewed, such as a rectangular arch, a triangle, an inverted triangle, and an hourglass. Furthermore, it resembles the structures that are used in mines for support.
Okay, that's cool as hell. And it's something you can walk into, so I'm guessing it's got a set of steps going up each side. Yeah, you can actually see them inside. Okay. That's cool. Well, there goes my landing gear. This weather is shit. Oh my God. How's the flight? This has been my view for about 90% of it today so far. But that's what's going on in real life, apparently. Alright. Let's do this. Music 30. Oh my God. I haven't heard this song in like decades. The music that is playing is literally a radio station in the local area. Just internet radio. In these conditions, are mid-air collisions more of a worry? Usually, if you're flying in this, you're flying instruments only, and you file a flight plan with ATC, and you would enable your transponder, which apparently mine already is. So they would be able to see my ping on the radar. They would know where I am, ID, all that kind of stuff. So Stuck in a flat world, Steam VR decided to throw a fit. I've been having a weird issue the last few days where I've been having to shut down Steam and then restart it because Music Zero, it kept giving me the Steam VR mismatch client error or something like that. So I've been having to completely shut down Steam VR and then start it back up and then connect Steam VR. It's been really weird. Music volume 30? No. Music 30. Yeah, it starts to clear out like 15 miles in front of us. The problem is the weather's moving with us right now. VR compositor crashes on launch. Event viewer or reliability monitor doesn't point to anything. Usually if that happens, I just uninstall and reinstall Steam VR because it seems that sometimes corrupts itself. So that might be another thing to check. This is the song that you annoy your French friend with all the time. Okay. C++ distribution. I've got a little program that I've been using called like Uni-Git Win or something like that. Hold on, see now I've got to double check. Hold on. Trying not to crash while I'm trying to remember the name of the program. But I loaded the program and it did like the scan of my computer to find like out-of-date software. And it found a whole bunch of libraries that were out of date that it updated for me too. I want to say C++ was one of them. Yeah, that's weird. And just for shits and giggles, you've done the whole reboot and everything. We've got some hills in front of us we got to be careful for. Yeah. Have you tried changing Steam VR to the current beta to see if a newer thing does anything different, maybe? I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas now. See? That's slightly concerning. Just comes out of nowhere. There's another one. I mean, I'm going kind of slow. I'm only going about 100 knots, but I could definitely have that closing speed a lot higher. I'm also kind of going slow in case I come to a steeper hill and I have to go up very quickly. I can without stressing the aircraft too much. It's so funny how the game determines, oh, you're so low, you should be getting tons of dead bugs on your window. Which, yeah, I'm getting a lot of dead bugs, but it's making seeing out of the window with all the rain even more difficult. That is power lines. We're gonna go up, please. Oh my god. Like I'm like super focused on everything right now. Like you might not understand this, but when you're like super focused trying to fly an aircraft and you're like watching everything, like you get tensed up. Music 40. See, so I've got a bit of a hill in front of me. Clearing up a little bit, and then right back into the soup. See, there's a lot of red. I can see over there that it's higher than I am. So we're gonna start climbing. If it's yellow, we're absolutely fine. Red is just, it's closer than 500 feet to me right now. And that close is slightly worrying. Helicopter racing, yeah. See, I could see that horizon line out in the distance. Radar is saying that the storm is lessening. A little bit. Maybe we can see something other than gray. Alright. I can kind of see the ground again, which is good. Back up to about 140 knots. Our route is literally taking us out this way, over there, and then back into the storm. Oh, man. Almost 10:30 in the morning. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna check something. Are we running live weather? We are, okay. This is live weather. I just wanted to check. Because if it was incorrect, it would have loaded different weather and it would maybe been clearer, but no. How fast those damn things are spinning. 25 knot winds outside. Kind of fighting it a little bit. Oh, shoot. Music 10. Music 40. Music 30. Alright. Thought it was going back into an ad again. Alright, so there's an airport in front of us somewhere. Start descending. I am looking for lights. There it is. There's our runway. We are about half tank of fuel, so I'm also going to top off the fuel here. So it starts slowing down a lot. Little short airfield. And they put it like right in this valley. I bet you're supposed to approach more from that side because of the prevailing winds. There's the fuel. Smaller airfields like this, vehicles are hardly ever running ever. They're not constantly driving around. Vehicle better not have moved in front of me. In real... You piece of shit! In real life, the vehicles stay the hell away from aircraft operations area unless they absolutely are required to. Little bit windy. Torn off. All right. Top off on fuel. All right. Music 40. Rolling up. Is it going to roll up? There it goes. It's like the weather's clear about 10 miles that way and that way, but we're turning around. All right, picking up. Don't move. All right. Clear right. How did activating my windshield wiper break my landing gear? What the hell? And yeah, we're going right back into the storm. We were at the edge of it. Oh, man. This area would probably look amazing, though, if we didn't have all this rain. Alright, let's see. We've got... Oh, this is a short little flight here. There's a smaller airport in front of us. A couple miles away. And then... looks like 2 point of interest, and then another airport. For those coming in right now, the music that is playing is actually a local radio station of the area that I'm flying over. If you're watching on YouTube, sadly I can't stream the music to YouTube. There it is. The wind is gusting nasty right here, right now. Ooh. Alright. On to the next location. We'll get there eventually. We're gonna be... I believe we're in Germany right now. And then we're kind of looping around and we're gonna pass through Switzerland. And then back into Germany, then Luxembourg, I believe. And then back into Belgium, get back towards the coast. Like, we're all over. Alright, so... dangerous whirligigs in front of us, so we're gonna climb, go over them. I would not want to be that close to one of those in real life. Even those have essentially wingtip vortices. You do not want to fly near them. They will mess you up. Not only the physical blade hitting you, but the wingtip vortices will throw your aircraft around. Being in a field of them, downwind of the field, the air is a little bit turbulent. 22 knot wind coming at us right now. Oh man. All right, so I think this next one is a point of interest. Yep, it is. Music 0. Alright, so let's listen to this. As soon as it starts playing, I'm going to turn to the left and go to the next one, straight on.
The Friedrichskopf rises in the Saarhansruck Nature Park on the territory of Brücken, a village which is 4.4 kilometers southeast of the summit. About 2 kilometers north-northwest is Muhl, 3.3 kilometers east-southeast of Abenthua.
So this is literally the mountaintop, okay.
And 3.5 kilometers north-northeast of Borfink. On the southern slopes of the mountain rises the Bleidenbach, a tributary of the Traunbach. The source of the Ilbach, which feeds the Prims, is on its western mountainside. Parts of the protected area of Hochwald-Idewald mit Randgebieten lie on the Friedrichskopf.
Okay. Music 30. Music 30. Music 40. Don't know why it's delayed.
The Celtic hill fort of Ossenhausen is one of the biggest fortifications the Celts ever constructed.
Music 0.
It was built by Gauls of the Treveri tribe, who lived in the region north of the fort. The fort is located on top of the Dolberg, a hill near Ossenhausen in Germany, about 695 meters above sea level. The only visible remains are 2 circular earth ramparts, covered with stones. The site is formed in the shape of a triangle with rounded ends. One rampart surrounds the whole fort. On the southern side, another similar embankment is built about 40 meters in front of the main one. The ends of this outer rampart approach the main one but do not touch it. Because the entrance of the main rampart is located on the western side, no significant purpose for the outer one has been determined. From west to east the fort extends 460 meters, from north to south 647 meters. The total length of the ramparts is 2,500 meters and they contain 240,000 cubic meters of stone. Thousands of beams were attached to the ramparts which probably presented a vertical stone wall to the exterior.
I'm hearing a bunch of sound effects of my... Hold on. The hell is that sound? Hold on. My headset was coming unplugged and then plugged back in repeatedly. Is the battery dead? Let's see. Where's my mic? Plug that one in. Put that charger. Battery's on now. Okay. That was weird. It just was rapid fire on off, on off, on off. I hope my USB-C port's not messed up. Alright, picking up. Actually, no. Setting back down. Because I really want a drink. Where's my microphone? Ah. No, now, Nanomonk, going back to your statement you made, are a lot of the songs in Hungarian bouncing between Hungarian and another language? Like, the songs are doing that sort of thing, or? Alright. International songs and locals as well. Interesting. I know that, like, when I lived in Japan for those couple of years, there were a lot of songs where it'd be, like, in Japanese, and then you'd have just a random English word, and you're like, what? It was always a little bit jarring. I guess, like, the language doesn't have a word for that, so they jump to English. I don't know. Music 30. Surprised to how little of the language I understand through international borrowed word. The crazy thing is, like, Music 5. One of my things that kind of annoys me is when I lived in Japan, I could carry out basic conversations, but I haven't spoken Japanese in like 10 years and I forgot most of it. 'Cause, like, when you go from using it every day to not using it at all, you kind of lose that stuff. It sucks. I'm guessing conference. Yeah, that other one I have no idea. But if it means computer, I'll have to take your word for it. Music 30. Music 0. When we get close, I have to turn the music down so when it starts speaking, it's not playing over it. Which, let me check now. It's supposed to be 2 kilometers. Ish. Ryanair up there. Why is it not playing? Well, I thought I set it to 2 kilometers. What's the speaking thing? It is an app called Bush Trip Radio. And it is supposed to, when you fly over point of interest, it essentially reads a portion of the Wikipedia article or something. I think actually what it does is there's like a database, and it like every point of interest that is on it is something a user made. So, like, okay, actually, for example, we're gonna pause real quick, and I'm gonna pull that thing out so I can show you guys. Okay, so, for example, this is the Bush Talk Radio. Right here, okay? Because I'm logged in, if you go to this website, bushtalkradio.com, you can find my aircraft, right? And you can find... Like, I'm currently in Germany, right? You can see, like, there's Luxembourg right there. We're currently in Germany, and we're bouncing around to different place to place. Apparently, the thing I just flew over isn't actually a thing that I can go to. But, let me go to settings. If I uncheck that... all these little check marks we've been to now. So you can already kind of see right there. It kind of goes a little bit weird when it zooms in, but you can see that I've already been to all those point of interests right there. You can see as I'm traveling across the map everything it's picking up, right? And we're down here now. So you can see that we've picked those up. We got those down there. I haven't flown through Luxembourg yet, which is why my route on little nav map goes over this way, turns back on itself, and then goes through Luxembourg. So, yeah. What is... Oh, my God. That's funny. Just surrounded on all sides by other countries. That's kind of weird. Probably in some weird valley or something. But yeah, I did the route navigation on little nav map, and then this is just an extra thing. I'm running essentially 2 copies of this because I've got 2 PCs. On this PC, I've got the point of interest audio volume maxed out, while on the other PC I have that muted, but then I have the music turned up. So then I'm able to use the voice attack command to essentially turn the volume up and down as we are flying around, but when I get to these point of interest, I like listening to them. And you can kind of see, like this one right there. Like there's, yeah. That sucks. 2 police officers were fatally shot at a traffic stop. That sucks. But again, everything on this is a user of this program added it. So, in fact, here's another player right here. Uncle Bob. Pontoon. Are there really only 3 people logged in? Me and 2 others? Like, I mean, if you're the kind of person that likes flying around and seeing cool things, I personally think this is an awesome program because you get that little bit of history stuff. One day, maybe in Flight Sim 2028, we'll be traveling along these and we can get everything in Alaska. Let's see here. My route is essentially going to take me. God, it doesn't have an in-between zoom level. Shit. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so this is a little nav map. It is a little bit overwhelming with all that stuff. Let me turn that down. Okay, so you can kind of see my route through the UK, and you can see my current route so far through France, Belgium, and Germany, right? You can also see my planned route right now. The purple leg is literally the leg we're on actively. But you can see, like, we're literally just bouncing between all these point of interest. Like, there's 3 right there alone. You get down to this town here, we're going to be going very slowly through that town. There's a lot of point of interest. But you can see how it tracks my route. Even all, like all the little wobbles, right? Why did I landed and started following the wrong course. Or wait, no. No, we just flew over this. Wait a minute, hold on. I think I'm an idiot. I think I attempted to fly over it twice. Is why it's not working. Oh, technically we've already gotten it. So I did get it. Shit. Okay. I've got it set up where as I progress, it is hiding the ones that I've been to. So then we don't, they don't show up. And I kind of have a void of no point of interest in this area as we continue going that way. But yeah, that's the website. Again, this bushtalkradio.com, you can log on to the website and actually see where I am. I need to actually set that up as a timer. So then my bot links it every now and then. Muppet, what are you doing? What are you hiding behind the thing for? Food dish is completely full. She's curious about my piles of 3D printing filament. Alright, I have lost my mouse pointer. There it is. Let's put that back on my other internet browser. Muppet, what are you doing? Alright, Bush Talk Radio. Let's back to the sim. Alright. And give me control. Alright, we're turning around. Turn weather radar back on. Stop our turn. We've still got terrain radar right there. That is telling us that there is a turbine in front of us, looking around for more. There's another. There's another. Try to fly over these. All right. We technically landed at this airport. But we'll land again. Alright, now we gotta go down. Actually, no, this is the one that's right in the middle of the thing, isn't it? Yeah, we already landed here. We already landed there. So now let's continue on. Music 30. Music 10. I'm going to turn the volume down while we're still in an ad. Music 30. All right. Alright, push for speed. I don't know why it's giving me the landing gear malfunction error when I turn on the windshield wiper. The windshield wiper has nothing to do with the landing gear. Oh, I don't know. Time?
4:02.
It is just after 11 a.m. here in Germany. Outside air temperature is currently almost 5 Celsius. 5 Celsius to Fahrenheit.
41 degrees.
Still chilly. Was just quickly checking to see if there's any point of interest around that we missed. What's the future look like, right? Viper 2K, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's just constantly raining. This is all we've really seen today. Is lots of gray with moments of terror as something comes out of the mist. For example, we're about to have a hill come out of the mist. Start climbing a little bit. Yep, there's the hill. You can have any shade of blue you want as long as it's gray. Oh, yes. Hopefully, our flight won't be like this all the time. The last few flights that we've been having were beautiful, like clouds in the sky, but it wasn't raining. Hell, even today's flight, it started off nice and then it just got nasty. Power lines. Yep, using real-time weather. Satellite imagery is showing a lot of population. A lot of city areas here. Oh, shoot. Please also remember that I have been awake since 10 a.m. yesterday. Time
4:07.
I'm playing this because I wasn't able to sleep, and I am starting to get to that area where I might be needing to sleep soon. But I'll make sure that we stop at an airport. Hopefully, when I pick the next flight up, it's not raining as bad. Knowing my luck, it'll be worse. Don't need to bump the microphone. Music 0. Radio volume 40. Saarbrücken Airport helicopter Sierra Quebec Uniform Echo Echo. Inbound for landing. We are to the north.
Helicopter Sierra Quebec Uniform Echo Echo Saarbrücken Tower. Enter left base for runway 9er.
Enter left base for runway 9er. Helicopter Uniform Echo Echo. Alright, left base for runway 9. Rafsy, right? This is definitely not helicopter weather. But my around the world flight requires I use weather. Rule I put on myself. Oh well. Alright, we'll start slowing down. Looking for the airport. We're getting pretty damn close. Should see it now. Saarbrücken Airport, helicopter, uniform Echo Echo, entering left downwind, runway 09. Alright, now will they give me clearance?
Helicopter Uniform Echo Echo. Continue on left downwind for runway 09er.
Continuing on left downwind for runway 09er. Uniform Echo Echo. We're on left downwind. Are you going to give me clearance? Maybe. Sometimes the AI thing struggles a little bit. Please give me clearance. You can see the pappy lights. Yeah, they had me on left downwind, but it's not giving me clearance. I guess we're going to do a pattern here. A lot of solar panels over there, too. Alright. Saarbrücken Airport, helicopter uniform Echo Echo, left downwind, runway 09. Trying to give the AI thing a chance to respond to me and actually give me clearance. Saarbrücken Airport, helicopter uniform Echo Echo, requesting landing clearance for runway 09. Yes, no, maybe.
Helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Wind 335 at 7. Runway 09er. Cleared to land.
Cleared to land, helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Thank you. Alright. Where are our pappy lights? Right there.
001 Bravo, hold at taxiway Alpha traffic on final. Holding at taxiway Alpha Skyhawk 9001 Bravo.
Nah, I was way off there. Tower will just have me do patterns. Alright, touch the skids down. Okay, I've technically landed here. Saarbrücken Tower, helicopter uniform Echo Echo, clear of runway 09. I don't know, it's not... Usually it just should be responding to me.
Uniform
There
Echo
it goes.
Echo. Taxi to general aviation parking. Via Bravo. Sierra. November. Bravo Charlie. Lima. Good day.
Thank you, Tower. Helicopter uniform Echo Echo. Bravo Sierra November, Bravo Charlie. Holy shit.
Helicopter
Okay.
uniform Echo Echo. You're welcome.
Oh, I love that it does that. I love that it does that. Alright. Whatever, close enough. Let's move over here. No. The hell was that? You hear the engine just die when I turned? I wonder if it's in relation to the... Watch this. I don't know why activating the windshield wiper breaks the landing gear. I don't know. Alright, real quick, this is going to be the airport we stop at. However, I want to do something today that wasn't shit weather. Alright, so now we don't have crap weather. Can actually see what this area looks like. Alright, let's go take a look.
Bonanza 64 Foxtrot Alpha 2, turn left, heading 180, contact departure. Left to 180.
Yeah, see, this is nice countryside.
64 Foxtrot
I've got
Alpha 2.
a little bit of canyons and stuff here. I like it when the terrain has that kind of gentle rolling hills kind of thing going on. Which airport is this? It is... Let's see here. Make sure I don't crash into the ground while doing this. This airport is Saarbrücken, Echo Delta Delta Romeo. Be aware, I am currently running Sim Update 2, so if you're trying to log on, you won't be able to see me unless you are also on Sim Update 2. Yeah, this is nice. Too bad we couldn't see any of it. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of lag there, though. And there goes the engine sound again. Music 40. We're getting a little bit of lag. I don't know if... I don't think anything's photogrammetry. Weird. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of little stutters now. Woo! Don't want to hit those. Do not want to hit those. It sucks that those don't render until you're right up on them like that, though.
71 Bravo Charlie, make a right turn, heading 180 traffic at your 9 o'clock. 1 mile altitude, 1500 feet. Right turn to 180.
I think I'm going to uninstall those birds.
71 Bravo Charlie.
Because some of those birds are larger than my damn helicopter. Uh-oh. I'm getting network issues, is what's happening. My music just stuttered really badly in my headset. Maybe that's what it is. Music 10. Music 30. Again, this is local radio stations that were using the Bush Trip program to get the music of. Boop. All right. Music 10. All right. Roll down. Can turn the pitot tube off, the fuel pump off. Can turn the horn off. Cover up, engine off. Can turn the avionics off. Pull the rotor brake. Also, I need to do a quick check. Okay, good. The rotor brake still works with the battery off. There used to be a bug where your cable-operated rotor brake did not function unless the battery was on. It was such a weird bug. Yeah, some of those birds are really large. All right, and there we go. We're done. I think with that, guys, that is going to be it for my stream today. Thank you all very much for hanging out with me. Music 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go search my followed list on Twitch. And if you are watching on Twitch, I'm going to try to raid somebody. If you are watching on YouTube, however, sadly, I can't raid there. Not yet, at least. Let me... Who is live that I can send you guys over to? Let's see here. I'm actually going to send you guys... Because we kind of flew through Belgium and Germany today, I'm going to send you guys over to go watch Trucker... Dylan? I feel like I keep mispronouncing his name. Radio volume 0. Turn that down. He actually drives truck. He's in Belgium right now. So I'm going to send you guys over to go see him. You guys get to see professional trucking. So if you're interested in like Euro Truck Sim, this guy does it for real. But guys, thank you all very much for hanging out. I will see you all later. And with that... Take care. Later, guys.